Hey there and welcome back to Big Buck Canoe. Today we're going to talk about how to sharpen a blade such as a chisel or the blade from a planer. Regardless of how old your blade is, if you have a good sharpening system, you can make it as good as new. And what we've got here is a tool from Stanley. It only costs $10, so you don't have to put out a lot of money to sharpen your blades, but you've got a stone, you got some sharpening oil, and you've got a tool to hold your blade at a consistent angle as you run it across the stone, and that's the key. You don't want to move your blade around making a rounded edge. You want to make a nice straight edge like you see here in the picture, and when you hold the blade at a fixed angle, that's what you get, is that nice straight edge. They also make these tools at Lee Valley. You can get them there. They're a little bit more expensive there, a little bit more of a finesse system, but this is your basic system. You just insert your blade into the holder so that, as you can see, your flat side is facing up. You're going to hold the tool like this, and there's a rounded guide wheel as you run it across the stone that rolls as you move it back and forth. So put your angle downward, and the key with this thing is, here's an angle guide. You can see I've got my blade set at 30 degrees. You can also pull it back, or you can move it as far forward as you want to. As you move it forward, the angle changes, but to know the angle that you need, just simply put it up against the stone, and you can see the angle that it's going to hit the stone. You don't want it hitting the stone on the shoulder, and you don't want it too far forward like that either. Like I showed in the diagram, you want it fairly flat, but you want this front part especially of the blade to be hitting the stone as you run it back and forth, and you'll see the blade become shiny as you run it back and forth, and there you'll see where the sharpening is taking place. So once I get my blade fixed, there you see the roller is going to sit on the stone. Put some sharpening oil on there, run it back and forth on the rough side, especially if you have some dings in your blade. Get rid of those dings. It might take a little while. And then flip it over to the smooth side. Now as you sharpen on a microscopic level, you're going to put a little bit of a lip on the front of your blade. It just happens naturally. This is accentuated. You want to get rid of that when you're done. Just pull your blade out of the holder and put the flat side down on the stone. Hold it nice and flat, and just do some circular motions to get rid of that lip. Don't lift your blade or you'll get rid of the whole sharpening process you just created. The second thing is, on a microscopic level, when you're sharpening blades, you get tiny little burrs across the front of the blade that you want to get rid of as well. What I do is just run it across a piece of wood, and then it rubs those burrs off. Just run it back and forth like this. Or if you have a piece of sharpening leather, it'll do the same thing. That's basically what barbers used to do when they sharpen their blades for shaving. So once the burrs are removed and you remove the lip, you should be ready to go. So good luck with your project. It's always a lot more fun and easy to work with a sharp blade than a dull blade. Have a great day.